Hello. I am multicolored today. Welcome to day 18 of the Ease, Joy, and Glory Challenge. My friend Simone, my friend Mariana, my friend Carol. Okay, I can't mention everybody, but hi, good to see you. Whew, baby. I am aware of a world of miracles that I would like you to know is possible. Here we go. Hello, Mr. Gary.
Hello, how are you?
Wonderful.
I know you are wonderful.
You're the best. Okay. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay, because I'm using my little Mikey phone. And Mikey is on the phone. Hello, world peoples. Nice to be with you. Okay, so all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Thank you. Yay. Can you hear the birds? They're Australian birds, so they sound more like pterodactyls. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. And I'd like to have you drink in and breathe in this energy. Okay? All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. So you may notice the opening of a different space, which is what all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory does. And I just got off of the You Got This. I do 2 Zooms a month. Anybody can join. It's available to you too. And wow, I just have to say, wow, for all of us and what is available now. One of the wonderful things about my job is I get to be truly on the creative edge of consciousness in the sense of not only facilitating. Do you hear the words? Oh God, I hope you do. But also being connected with a lot of people and seeing what new doors are available and helping people open them. Because part of what all of life comes to you with ease and joy and glory does is show you that there is something totally different available. Totally different than this matter, energy, space, and time reality that have been congealed into creating just this way and creating from judgment and being wrong and having very little space and having lots of poverty and yuckiness and, oh yeah, you heard the birds, thank you. And today's opening, wow. And hopefully you've heard, if you comment challenge, we will send you the link to the page that has the Ease, Joy, and Glory loop, that has for one more day the sale on the money and the magic course. They were $600, now each of them is $25. Also, you can check out You Got This, and another thing I do called Dive In. The whole idea with all of this is, one of the things I found is, like, if you've noticed as we've gone through this challenge, your space changes. And that sounds, it used to sound so airy-fairy to me. And I'm not 100% sure I'd describe it as well as I would like or in the way that I get it, but when the space around you changes, space is not just one thing, and it's not empty, and it's it's kind of like if you have a space of more receiving, more ease, more joy, more glory, exuberant expression, and abundance. I love it. You got this as unfucked me everywhere I thought it was fucked. That's awesome. And it continues to, which is the gift for me. Because if we're not continuously moving forward, we get really bored and we feel like we're moving backwards. Okay. And so this is the deal. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's awesome. My shirt is similar to yours. Money and magic courses are also great. Thank you. Yeah, please get those, guys. Please. If you want to, your choice, of course. But we keep thinking it's what goes on in here that determines what shows up out here. But in actuality, it's like, you can't see my hands, but it's like when we have more space, things show up in a different way. And that's what this whole journey of consciousness is really about in a certain way is this sense of having space, the sense of having more ease, more joy. Oh, that's so cool. So much peace in my world after you got this, calls. It's one of my must-haves in creating space and ease. Thank you. When I say all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory, I change. The gloomy and anger shifts to exhilaration and curiosity. Magic course is awesome. Yay, thank you. That's the best thing in the world when you create something and somebody's like, this is awesome, it's helping you. I'm like, yes, so cool. So anyway, and people sometimes wonder, why do you explain so many things? I'm like, because what we're doing is so different. Consciousness is different than anything that has ever existed. It's beyond spirituality. It's beyond judgment. It's beyond mastery, really. It's where the convergence of possibilities exists, and you would think, because you as a being are that's what would be showing up. But the one thing you're taught not to have in this reality and world is your being. Because you were being when you were a child. How well did that work? Fine, until you learn that you had to judge and figure out right and wrong and conclude everything and no longer just have childlike wonder. But what if this is where we get to again have childlike wonder? So once again, if you comment challenge, you can get, there's links to all kinds of stuff there, but also information and a free audio called Waking Up Miraculously. So many things. Okay, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Yeah, at the challenge link, there are several free gifts for you. Go get them. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Hello, beautiful people around the world. I just wanted to acknowledge you all. Thank you for being here. What else is possible? Really, thank you for going on this journey. You have no idea how much, or maybe you do. Maybe you have an idea of how much it's changing for you, but with several thousand of us, it's actually able to change things for all of us. So one of the things I'd like you to do is connect to 350,000 different people in bodies. Simultaneously connect every politician and statesman on the planet. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Oh, thank you. She said, thank you for your generosity. And it is my honor and pleasure to contribute. I wonder what it would be like if you recognize that your contribution is a gift even when you've been made wrong for it. Because most of what you do with regard to other people is from caring. We've even learned that if we care, we judge. Just what our parents showed us. I care so much about you, I have lots of points of view about everything you choose. It's like, I don't think you understand what caring actually is. Maybe you should go take an access class. But if you'd recognize that, maybe it'd allow yourself to have a different point of view about you. Maybe it'd allow yourself to recognize that you're not the terrible person you thought you were, or that other people have tried to say you are. What if you could recognize that you've done so many things for people from caring, and we tend to think we're wrong if they don't receive it, or if they don't receive it in a particular way, but all of that is messed reality. It's not actually you being you. It's not your reality. And what all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory creates is a space for you to thrive beyond messed reality. And messed is matter, energy, space, and time. Energy and space are what is, what the universe is. And then there's matter, which is an invented thing. And then there's time, which is a total invention. We've talked about a lot in class. It goes way beyond the scope of today's conversation. And however, I wanted to present it so you'd get a sense that there's this thing that we've been trying to make real. And all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory is where we don't have to do it anymore. So I said that one more time, so I'm adding it to my counter. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Hello, Poland. I am coming to you for ESB in April. Yay, Polska. We will have pickle soup. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for the thank you. So because of you and Access, I've been able to start choosing the gift I am. Yes. That makes me so friggin' happy. That. If you recognized, without arrogance, see, we think if we see ourselves as a gift, we're going to be arrogant. But what if you recognize that, what if you just had this quiet sense and acknowledgement that you're a gift, regardless of what you've been thinking is true? Like, if you recognize you're a gift, are you unkind or mean or abusive to people? No, the people that are unkind, mean, and abusive don't see themselves as a gift. They have a sense of no power, and so they're trying to get control over powerful people, which is you, to try to prove that they have power and value. When you see yourself as a gift, you don't need to play that game. You just are above it. You don't even need to go there. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, spacies, creations, and beyonds. Hello from Ukraine and the Middle East and all the rest around the world. Okay, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Cool. I really choose this now. Yay. And it's one choice, but then it's got to be ongoing choices. We've been taught that we need to somehow figure everything out to make one big choice that will change everything. Like there's one choice to rule them all. Choice is not Lord of the Rings, Golem. Choice is choice after choice after choice after choice. And some of them are like this and some of them are like this. And usually the ones that are like this involve other people where we're trying to save them or change them. What if you don't have to anymore? What if you can be the gift that you are and realize that that broadcasts possibilities to everyone? Yeah, it's like the gift of seeing things clearly with allowance and knowing something is possible. Thank you. That. And remember, what's true always makes you lighter. A lie makes you heavier. So as you use all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory, you notice you get lighter. Well, it's acknowledging what's true, but also giving you access to it. That's why we call what we do access. So all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. I'd also like you to tap into Uluru. Hopefully you've seen some of my posts from there and from the time there, like with the flies, for example. And I could just tap into that. And also all the other places and spaces. Because one of the things about Uluru, Ayers Rock, I like Uluru better. I like calling it Uluru better. But one of the things about it is, one of the things Gary said so brilliantly when we were there, he's like, wow, it's like the energy of the earth is closer to the surface here and more accessible. So let's tap into all of the places that have that ability. And let's ask them to wake up. Let's ask to connect them across our planet. If you vibrate when you say this, why is it so? Don't ask why, darling. Just enjoy the vibration. How does it get any better than that? See, we kill things when we define them. You'll have an energy, you'll have a vibration, and it'll be so amazing. And then you go, why? And if you can't figure it out or understand it, you reject it. What if you don't have to figure out or understand anymore? Use it, let your life get lighter, and then create your life from that new space. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. 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 All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. We did our 105 times and we ended on red. That must be a sign of something. Maybe not. See, we tend to do so many interesting things. But imagine if you weren't from here. Imagine if when you came into this body, this lifetime, imagine you were like an alien from another planet. By the way, you might want to read or listen to Stranger in a Strange Land and realize that you are the Martian. It's about a guy from Earth who's actually born on Mars and then comes back to Earth, and he's grown up like a Martian, and they do things really differently, kind of like you. So what if you're a lot more like an alien in the best of ways? What if you're like a magical alien? And what's funny is, you talk to, I don't know, a business person, a scientist, a psychologist, a whomever, a doctor, and, they would hear this and be like, oh my God, what a fucking idiot. And I'm like, it's where the magic is. You are where the magic is. You are the magic. And I don't say that lightly, but I want you to acknowledge it. It's called Stranger in a Strange Land by Michael Heinlein. I'm not sure if it's translated into all languages, but I would imagine it's translated into lots of them. And I think it was from the 70s. I'm not sure. So it's old. Not really old. You get the idea. All right, beautiful you. Do me a favor, disconnect from the 350,000 other people in bodies. And I'm asking each of you to connect to a unique 350,000 in bodies. Disconnect from the politicians and ask what we can contribute to actualizing the awarenesses and the possible futures that all beings of consciousness have. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. By the way, you are so welcome for doing this. Thank you for your gratitude. What a gift. What if, do me a favor, it's one of the things I suggested on You Got This today, which is start a gratitude list. Just start with 3 things you're grateful for. And then 3 things or people you're grateful for. And add to it. Maybe keep it on your phone or keep it in a notebook or something where you can access it and add to it, because gratitude is one of the major elements of receiving. And when you're willing to receive more, that's part of that space of all of life coming to you with ease and joy and glory. While we're at it, I'm going to give you 2 money tools. One is to put 10% of every dollar that comes in away as an honoring of you, and do not spend it. I know a lot of you are going to think I'm crazy and you can't, whatever, maybe start with 5. But what happens is, as that starts to accumulate, you start to have a sense of having money. And it's interesting because money's been made so important here that we think it is somehow the source for choice and creation. But it's actually not, and you are. But the way we've treated money and created it has been about taking you out of being the source of creation. Oh, thank you. She said, thank you for the being you being magic. I have even more clarity regarding me being magic. Thank you, and you are so welcome. That's the magic course. It's on sale for one more day. I hate the words on sale, by the way. We have reduced the price for one more day. If you comment challenge, you'll get the link to that and a lot of free gifts I have there for you. Actually, and a lot of other things to explore, like waking up miraculously. Great way to start your day. Which is an audio that I created to contribute to you guys, because I know how it is waking up here sometimes. Sometimes you feel like your head is in the middle of messed reality's anus, and I totally get it. Oh, you're on my gratitude list. Thank you. That's awesome. That really makes me smile. And laugh. Thank you so much. What an honor. You want to, I'm not a fan of you want to put 10% away of every dollar that comes in and do not spend it. As that accumulates, you'll get used to having money. Now, there may be a point for some of you where as it accumulates, it'll get to a certain amount, and then you'll have some big bill or something come up. You're like, oh my God, I got to spend this. You want to ask yourself, did I create this because I'm getting uncomfortable having this money? See, the weird thing in the world is people are comfortable with what they know. They're comfortable with the poverty they know. They're comfortable with the suffering they know. They're comfortable with the relationships that might judge them that they know. They're not comfortable when something is undefined. And so here's the weird part. Here's something that has been so challenging to convey to people. Having this awareness and then trying to give it to people is an interesting thing, because when you function from a certain amount of money or lack of it, a certain amount of poverty or whatever, it's like people who are in poverty, their choices that they've made. And the weird part is, if you take them out of the poverty without changing their points of view, they will often go back to the poverty they're used to. So what if whatever's been going on with money is just something you're used to? And why am I bringing up money? Because it has been the consistent thing that people have asked me about. So each live I can, give a little bit more info about whatever's showing up that day, which is part of the beauty of going live every day. Because what I do is I just show up with my ease, joy, and glories in hand and my little counter, and then see what it is in your world that I can contribute. And this is today's conversation. So what happens is people are making choices that are creating that. And we think it should be cognitive. Like, how many people struggle with whatever it is, money, relationships, self-worth, or whatever, but they never realize they're making choices that create it. They think it's happening to them. And the idea that life is happening to us is one of the most destructive points of view that we can choose. The idea that life is happening to us and these things are happening to us is one of the most destructive points of view we can choose. Because what it does, it takes you out of the awareness of choice. And one of the things that occurs with ease, joy, and glory, but also all the tools of access, is you start to become aware that you have choice. So back to my conversation, if the 10% starts to grow and you have a major bill come up, you might recognize, was I getting uncomfortable having that much money? And what a bizarre idea, right? Because we go through our lives thinking, I would like so much more money. But if you follow most lottery winners, about high 90% of them, within 2 to 5 years, are back in the same position they were before winning the lottery, just at a higher level. Why? Because it's comfortable. Now, here's another thing. Your point of view creates your reality. Reality doesn't create your point of view. So what happens is they have some points of view going on, but here's the thing. Those points of view aren't cognitive. They're the underlying insane mind that they've been functioning from. It's part of what we address in the money course and the magic course. Which, by the way, is that $25 for each of those is going away. We kept it open because we had so many people who were asking for it and not able to do it the first time and blah, blah, blah. But this time when it goes, it goes. So if you comment challenge, you can get the links to all kinds of gifts I have for you. The Tour of Consciousness, Waking Up Miraculously, the Ease, Joy, and Glory Loop, and the Absurd Sale. Okay, so anyway, I want you to have that. And somebody says, I often spend everything from this account and ask, how could it be any other way? That's not a question. You see, you have to make the choice to have your own back if things are going to change, even when it's uncomfortable. And one of the other things is, what if you started choosing as the person you would like to be rather than the person you think you are? See, we create ourselves, how we show up. We create our lives from our choices. The life you have right now is a result of every choice you've made before now. So to have something different in the future, you've got to choose different. What different choice can I make? What different choice can I make that might be uncomfortable? What different choice can I make that would create what I truly desire? But also in that, you got to start getting clearer on what you truly desire. And one of the gifts of this ease, joy, and glory, at least 100 times a day, and I hope some of you are being really smart and using it all the time. That's fine if we do the 100 times a day, 105, thanks to David Kubis, but that's great. Awesome. Thank you. And I hope some of you are using it all the time. Why not? It's free. So, it's our underlying points of view that we have, and one of the things Access Consciousness does better than anything else I've ever seen. Number one, acknowledges it, because most people don't even know that. But number two, gives you the tools to change it. That's what the clearing statement is about. That's what the questions are about. But that's what using all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory is about. Yeah, and play that loop while you sleep. Great idea. And so you start to create a space in which you realize different choices are available. And if you look at the world, there's so many people who don't believe there is choice, who don't believe there are different choices available. And I get it. I used to be one of those people. I was at the place where I was going to end my life because I didn't think I had choice. And then I had an Access Consciousness bar session, and it gave me, kind of like all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory does, it gave me an experience of a different space of being alive. And from that moment, I was in. Have I had ups and downs? Hell yeah. But I have also had the tools to change the downs into greater ups every single time. And I want to say, ooh, I love it. I love listening to Access while I sleep. I feel fantastic when I wake up. Girl, me too. I listen to audios almost every night. And it's amazing, because what it does is it changes the space, changes the energy, changes the sense of choice, changes from contraction to a sense of more space. And that's us. You are a lot more space than you ever imagined. So once again, if you comment challenge, you can get the links to all kinds of free goodies and the money class, the magic class, waking up miraculously, all kinds of stuff. So the second thing, so first thing, put 10% away of every dollar that comes in and don't spend it. Notice if you get uncomfortable having money, or notice if a big bill comes up. That's an indication where you want to spend it. that's an indication that you're getting uncomfortable having money. So you want to pock and pod that. Get the money class. I'll tell you exactly what to do in it. Okay. And the second thing that you want to do in addition to the 10% is if you had all the money in the world, how much cash would you carry with you in your wallet? And ask, like, hey, if I had millions upon millions of dollars, how much cash would I carry? Now, some of you are like, I wouldn't. I would put everything on credit cards. You know what, silly goose? You want to get used to having cash, because cash is something that your body can tactilely perceive and receive from. And like for me, when I started, I think it was $500. Like if I had all the money in the world, it'd be $500. So what I did was started putting 10% away. And when it reached $500, I traded in for $500 bills and put it in my wallet. So I'd go buy food and I would, pay $25 or whatever. And I'd see in my wallet, I'm using this, but I have this money that I'm not spending. Gets you used to having money. Now, these are two really simple tools. Put the 10% away, put the amount of cash that if you were wealthy, you would have, and put it in your wallet or purse and don't spend it. So, it's also part of the How to Become Money workbook. And we have a telecall coming up where we're going to explore that with several facilitators. And it's one of the tools I got from Gary when I first started Access. It was so helpful. I started doing those two things and it changed my financial reality. So, all right, beautiful yous. So many other things I wanted to say, but I really wanted to emphasize that if something is showing up in your life, there are choices you're making that are creating it. Not because you're wrong, but because that awareness is the only thing that will allow you to know that you can change it. If you keep putting it outside of you, you're saying you're a victim to these circumstances. And we live in a world in which victim is very in vogue. Blaming other people, blaming people who have money, blaming your parents, blaming your family. Stop it. It's not getting you anywhere. It's keeping you in the distractor implants of blame, shame, regret, and guilt. And it's an invalidation of your capacity to create your life. And we do it in all kinds of ways, and you are not wrong for doing it. It's something we all learn, because when you're blaming somebody else for what's showing up, you're no longer the source. So who or what have you made the source outside of you for what doesn't work for you and for what does? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. Wow. There's something called distractor implants that we talk about in Access. Blame, shame, regret, and guilt, anger, rage, fear, and hate. There are several of them. We actually wrote a book called Living Beyond Distraction. I think we did a class. Actually, we did a class called Living Beyond Distraction. That's available on the Access Me app. And wow. And you realize that these things are just there distracting you from creating your life. And you realize they're not serving anybody. They're not serving anybody who's choosing it. They're just diminishing things. You can pock and pod all the distractor implants. We have an app called Access Me in which you can get all of every Access class we've ever done. And it's inexpensive as. I think we'll put that on the give me a day, and we'll have it also a link to that on the page you go to if you comment challenge, which has the free gifts and the Ease, Joy, and Glory loop and the Money and Magic class that are available for $25 each instead of $600, at least for the next 24 hours. Yeah. So create a gratitude list, put 10% away, put the amount of cash that a wealthy person would have in your wallet, and don't spend it, and allow yourself to get used to having money, and then stop the blame game of anyone or anything else for anything that's going on in your life. Because if you do that, you will take your power back. All of Life Comes to Me with Ease and Joy and Glory opens some amazing doors if you haven't noticed. Notice how you can hear things differently, you can receive them differently. Well, guess what? That's a choice you're making. You make the choice to come on the lives. And I know you probably haven't done all of them, or maybe you have, but that's a choice you're making. That's how choice works. It's not what we think it is. It's, oh, I'm doing that. That's choice. But how much of that choice is from your awareness, which is actually your being saying, hey, this is a way to get what we truly desire. What if that is what choice is? Okay, beautiful you. I'll say one more time, if you come in challenge, you can get all the free gifts and all the links to all the stuff. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for being with me live or later. Thank you for being in the world. And if you don't know it yet, you are truly a gift. And I thank you so much for being. And what if you, truly being you, are the gift, the change, and the possibility this world requires? See you tomorrow for day 19. Whatever day it is tomorrow. Let's see. Hold on. Today's day 18. See you tomorrow for day 19. Mwah! Bye-bye for now. Lo siento, no estamos traduciendo esto, pero hay un tour de conciencia en YouTube que sí tiene traducción. Ok, bye-bye.